Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the, get this, 22nd edition of TWitWoW Five Fave Fives. We are going to be talking today about our five and more favorite performers in each of WWE, AEW, New Japan, Stardom, and the rest of the wrestling world. And then after we get done talking about all of that, we will also be listing our top 10 favorite wrestlers in the world, regardless of promotion. I love doing these videos. John, I know this is your favorite thing we do. So how you feeling about this today?
I will be perfectly transparent with everybody. Yes, this is my favorite thing that we do, but I've never been more underprepared. I really rushed to get this one done, shamefully. But I did come up with some unique names. Really, I will tell you guys, because I always love teasing this before we do these. My biggest changes, the list I'm most excited to get about, Stardom had a huge shakeup this quarter. I think you're going to be surprised by my top five in Stardom as well, bro.
Okay.
For the most part. And then my other list, just because of who came in at number one, which was a last minute, like, oh my God, I really think I could really like this person. I like what they bring, and I'd like to talk about them. And actually, we can thank one of our patrons for that number one, but I don't want to give the game away too much. So yeah, I'm excited for this because even though it was a rushed effort by me, because I'm like, oh God, I started the day late. I just got done a wonderful conversation with my mother. And so I'm in a good mood. Let's just get into this. Let's just talk about our fave fives in each company, starting, of course, with WWE. WWE was probably helped a lot because we just recently did the Royal Rumble. Who wants to do the honors, friend? Do you want me to do honorable mentions first, or do you want to do honorable mentions
I usually leave that decision up to you, man. If you're leaving it up to me, I'll choose to go first this time.
Okay, fair enough. Then floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, and reminder to everyone that because this is a WWE list and that we don't have separate lists now for the brands and that we don't have an NXT list or anything like that, this does include NXT. So, starting at the very bottom of my honorable mentions list because of how little exposure I have to NXT, I do have some NXT names on my honorable mentions. Starting again at the very bottom with Lyra Valkyria.
Nice.
Then we get Gigi Dolan, Roxanne Perez, who was just in the Rumble. Then we get to our main roster names: Liv Morgan, Ashanti Adonis, Emma, Elias, Damian Priest, Chad Gable, Mia Yim, and then we get to what is sort of my top five honorable mentions, which basically, if we were doing a top 10, these would be my numbers 10 through 6. At number 10 would be Chelsea Green already. Number 9 would be Bianca Belair. 8 would be Asuka. 7 would be Rick Boogs already, and 6 would be Damage Control.
All right. I like it. You guys know how I do. Honorable mentions for me. I try and keep it to five. So pretty much my backup team. So 5, Chad Gable. 4, Edge. 3, Rhea Ripley, amazing at Rumble. 2, Liv Morgan, again amazing at Rumble. 1, Seth Rollins.
Oh my god, okay. Wow. Alright. I think I know who your, like, top 2 or 3 are gonna be. Very curious how your list gets rounded out, though. So, I guess I go first at number 5, right?
Yes.
My number 5 for WWE, Legado del Fantasma.
Ooh,
I
nice.
grouped the entire faction in here because I don't think any individual member of LDF would make my top 5, but I loved Zelina's performance at the Rumble. I love Santos in general. He's a great promo, he's a great wrestler, all that shit. And the actual tag team of LDF, the Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wild team, have been fucking killing it in these matches in this tournament. They've been great. So literally, as the sum of its parts, LDF manages to crack my top 5. And it really is a big deal because if you were paying attention, just missing my list was Damage Control, who have been firmly in my top 5 every time we've done one of these since they debuted. This is the first list that they've missed. So that actually does speak volumes for the people that made my top 5. So props to LDF for having a great couple months for me to grade them on.
Yes. Number 5 for me, Jey Uso. This is driven
Wow.
primarily by character work. I have loved Jey Uso, the character, his body language, how he's, been on the mic, the fucking the trial of Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
That I thought was great, and the way he steps in and he stops Solo and he says, I love you like a brother, Us, 100, and he goes to bat for Sammy. And then when they defended the tag title successfully that same night,
Yep.
Jay, I mean, tag team wrestling is like breathing to Jay and Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
But I singled out Jay and I didn't say the Usos because I really feel like, this whole thing started when, Roman was kind of trying to big league him and he had that line. Why can't I be Universal Champion? When people look at me, you know what they say, Us? Which one are you? I don't think anybody will ever say that ever again with the work that this man has done for over 3 years. But especially recently, I feel like, and again at Rumble, when he's just in the corner and he's holding his knees and it looks like he's having a PTSD flashback and he walks out. A story is only as good as its parts. And I think Jay has more than carried his load in this story. And so, yeah, he just cracks my top 5. And I'll tell you, if we're getting a return, which I doubt, because I have my own theories, but this isn't the place for that. But if in another time we were getting a return of main event Jey Uso as kind of a standing up to Roman kind of babyface, that's even top 3 material for me. This dude, he's so goddamn believable, and I love it. So yeah, Jey Uso for number 5. Who is next on your list?
So, dude, full transparency, I guess I cheated a little bit. I had the Bloodline as a unit on my list.
That's fine. That's
like
fine.
I didn't
dude.
break it down into parts. But the reason I say that is because if I had to break the Bloodline down into individual units or individual pieces, I don't think that there's anyone in that unit right now that I like more than Jey Uso.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fantastic, dude.
So
fucking great.
All right, number 4 for me, Seth Rollins. Dude's been doing great work. He had a great Rumble performance. He's been great in general lately. I don't really know what else there is to say. This dude is just arguably the most consistently great performer on this roster, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to be as succinct as you with this next one. Roman Reigns. Just looking at Rumble alone, I mean, how far this man has come. Love how he works as a heel in the ring. Those steel step spots he did to Owens.
Yeah.
Like, it's rare that a work spot makes me tense up and cringe. That fucking did it. Mm-hmm. This dude is set. And then when he's in the corner holding Sammy back, laughing as Kevin's getting his ass beaten. I even love how he's at the start. Solo, beat his ass. Like, he has got gangster energy. And then, but that gangster energy can go into like fragile, traumatized energy when like he got hit by Sam and he's just sitting on the floor with his face in his hands. And then he's like, kill him. And like, again, I've watched that whole thing, definitely in the double digits. Roman, you can say what you want. Roman really has entered that Okada territory for me. Maybe not to the same degree, because Okada really is something special. But where, like, Roman, he's earned his spot. Even I can be like, okay, when is the reign going to end? When are we going to move on to the next thing? But he is so consistently good. He reminds you why he is where he is. And so, yeah, he's number 4 for me. Who's next for you?
Number 3 for me, and this might come as a surprise to some people, but I don't think that it should surprise anyone after his performance in the Royal Rumble. Number 3 for me is Gunther.
Same. We have the same number 3 for the exact same reason.
Epic. Nice. All right, yeah. I mean, look, this dude has been consistently putting on great matches for a really long time now, and even going back before he was up on Smackdown, back in NXT, NXT UK, on the Indies, everything. This dude has just been great for a really long time. But my problem with Gunther, or before he was Gunther, my problem with Walter matches for the longest time was, how can I believably, or I guess I should say, how can I believe anyone lasting more than 2-3 minutes with this motherfucker? But you put him on SmackDown with Sheamus, with Drew McIntyre, and all of a sudden, all of these Hoss fights are completely believable. And they're great, and I love them. And so, yeah, Gunther gets my 3 spot, and obviously you too.
Yeah, if I could just tack on something about Gunther myself here. Dude's a beast. Dude, he's one of the most believable Intercontinental champions I think we've had at least for the last 5 years, at least. The idea that he went over 70 minutes,
Yeah.
started at number 1, fucking bookended the fucking thing. He's world champion either this year or next year. And like, I'm so happy he had that performance because I've even been saying before this, like, oh yeah, he's a future world champion. Oh yeah, he's the next monster after Roman Reigns. This felt like vindication. Like, you're goddamn right, he's going to be the next final boss after Roman Reigns. And it's amazing. It's
well, and the
amazing.
crazy
And
thing too is like, you'd believe this motherfucker beating anybody on the planet one-on-one. Tackle on the fact that he has a faction, so if he decides he wants to start cheating, that's even worse for everyone else.
Dude, it is. Like, you know, I always have this running bit on the show where, like, I'm an asshole, but there are people that I will not talk shit about. I ain't fucking with this dude. Like, it's conditioning. Because that's the thing, too. What's so great about Gunther, you look at him and you think, oh, that guy probably has really fun squash matches in short bursts. 70 fucking minutes. This dude's conditioning like I'd be dead after 10. And he's like, oh no, we're just getting started. And like, God, he made Cody look so much better than he has any right to look. And that fucking drop kick, dude. God, like, I'm watching this dude work and I'm like, give him everything.
But yeah, like,
so
this
happy.
dude was in the match for over 60 minutes at that point, over an hour. And he had the fucking energy and the fucking explosiveness to hit that drop kick on Cody. That was nuts.
Dude, and I'll tell you, now maybe somebody can correct me, because again, there's only so much you could see, especially when I'm wrapped up in reacting with you and just the atmosphere. Most guys, when they set records like that, you know, they'll go in the corner for a good bit, they'll rest. I didn't see this dude really rest that long, if at all. It always seemed like he was a part of like trying to eliminate somebody or doing chops or whatever. Like, he always had a presence. Dude, that stare down with Lesnar, you want to talk about matches left that I give a shit about with Brock Lesnar? Gunther. And you put that motherfucker over. Like, dude, I am so ready for the Gunther era. I feel like we're already living in it, but I'm talking like that main event, primetime fucking era. I am so ready for it. So yes, I'm so glad we share him at number 3, because if we both didn't give him his flowers, then one of us needed a talking to, and I'm so glad that doesn't have to happen now. Because like, yeah, holy fuck, what a talent. What a talent. But who's next on your list, man?
Number 2 on my list is Rhea Ripley. I was very surprised that you only had her as an honorable mention. I feel like she has been absolutely killing it lately. And also, like Gunther, had an incredible Royal Rumble performance. She went over 60 minutes and was the first woman ever to win from the one spot. And she was so dominant, and I loved the end sequence of that Women's Rumble, where it seems like maybe Liv is going to get the job done, and Rhea, you know, who was in? It was Asuka, right? That was the third person out in there with Rhea and Liv, right?
Yes.
And the way that Rhea basically hit her with the fucking tiger feint kick to eliminate Asuka, and then Liv comes over, gets her with the head scissors, pulls her down. I fucking love that. Not only is this story about Rhea showing Dominic how to be a man, we've also got some canon Dominic teaching Rhea how to do lucha shit now going on, and I love that too. And she has been, I think, in my mind, the best overall performer in WWE's women's division for, it's got to be over, or at least close to a year at this point. When did she feud with Charlotte? That was in 2021, wasn't it? Because that was the first time that I really felt like, damn, Rhea is the total package. She is just the best overall performer on this roster, and she keeps evolving, and I don't know if she's getting significantly better, but she's sure as hell not getting worse, because she is still exceptional at what she does. And man, I really hope that she wins that title off of Charlotte and goes on to have some fun feuds. I think it would make a lot of sense for her first feud post Charlotte, assuming she does win the title, would be Liv. That would be great. I would love that.
I would love it too. I agree with everything you're saying. To keep the ball rolling, my number 2, Sami Zayn. What else is there to say about this motherfucker?
Oh, wow.
Having the run of his goddamn life.
So I did know who your top 2 were. I knew who your top 2 were.
Yes, and I will say, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, Montreal. You do it and you make magic. It's that simple. I'll tell you, the one thing about Montreal and about just Canada when they get big wrestling shows, I remember I want to say it was No Way Out 2003 where Austin returned because I think that was in Montreal. The pop was insane. This motherfucker and Sami Zayn is on such fire right now. That may be one of the loudest pops I've ever heard in 10 years come Montreal. I really feel like it's going to be one of those things where you and I may not even be like, we'll react for sure. But like, we might also be like quiet in parts just because we're taking in the atmosphere. And that's the thing. Like, I wanted it to be at Mania. I've made my peace with it. But you know what? The more I think about it, the more I'm like, for Sammy as a person to have that kind of match, that kind of program in fucking Canada,
Bro.
I can't wait for the dude, and he's earned it. Name me one person that's been as consistently great as this fucking dude. And again, I know this is a fandom list, but even I can say my number one. They've been dependent on my number two here in Sami Zayn for the story being as good as it is. He's just on another level. He's in a completely different league from everybody else right now, and he deserves everything he's getting. And this is coming from me. I used to be the guy that I was like, I don't really get Sami Zayn. I don't really like it. Now I'm like, not only is this the perfect time for him to go back to being a babyface, like if they're doing that slow transition, but man, they're hitting it out of the fucking park. I mean, just the views they've done on that Rumble segment alone, it's just insane. So, who is next on your list?
Bro, before we move on, can I just say, if this is going to end up being Sammy versus Roman in Montreal, part of me really wants Roman to come out first. And then Sammy comes out to his actual theme music. The
Yes.
fucking pop, bro. I swear to God. You ain't shitting when you say it might outdo the Austin pop. Holy fuck.
Dude, I honestly might even want to be careful of the volume because if anybody was ever worried about hearing loss,
Yeah.
that pop is going to be insane. It's
Yeah.
going to be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like Bray Wyatt when he came back at Extreme Rules, that pop was insane. I feel like this is going to top that. Like,
Yeah.
god damn. But yeah, who's next on your list, brother?
Well, number one on my list, I already kind of gave it away if you've been paying attention. It's the Bloodline because, frankly, they're just the best thing going right now. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
They're the most compelling story in wrestling right now by far as I'm concerned. The Royal Rumble sealed the shit, man. I mean, it was already locked in. Royal Rumble, I mean, I might not have agreed with every decision that was made at the Royal Rumble, but it's still made for one hell of a continuing, to be compelling story that I can't take my eyes off of. And, say what you want about WWE as far as the quality of their product goes, but at the end of the day, when they can create magic like this, that's just, icing on the cake, man. It's unbelievable.
I am gonna have a bit more to say about this than I probably should because it's so obvious. Number one for me, Kevin Owens. Now,
yes.
here's what I want to take up the time to say. Not what we already do know. I love the promos. I love the mentality. The go home show before Rumble, where he's so fired up. I live for that shit. It's wrestling at its best to me. This is going to be a very telling time for me as a Kevin Owens fan with him still being babyface because I've really speculated aloud on Twitter, being honest that I love Kevin Owens, but also being honest about the history of the character. I don't know if he was worthy of Sammy's sacrifice. Now, the first time they tried doing the Kevin face run, the big thing was, I want to be a better person. I want to, in a sense, in a word, he wanted redemption, right? You better fucking take it this time. Because to me now, with this diverging into the Kevin and Sammy versus Uso story, which I'm seeing the writing on the wall, now Kevin becomes more important than he ever has. And because he's become more important than he ever has, how you write him has never been more important. And so that dude needs to do some soul searching. There needs to be something where it all comes together because I have to wonder when Kevin is in those handcuffs, half conscious, because he had his eyes open. I think he could barely register what was happening. He barely registered, what happened to Sammy. And actually, it's funny because a fan cam, and I thank Myth GIFs for this, which again, I encourage everybody to follow them. That's MITH GIFs. Because they do amazing breakdowns of storylines, especially anything involving Sammy and Kevin. They said that a fan cam caught that when Kevin got free from the cuffs, he immediately went to Sammy. Meanwhile, Sammy was too shell shocked to even process what had happened. The Kevin character is going to be so crucial in the coming months because, in my mind, when he's in those handcuffs, I have to wonder if he thought, Sammy, why didn't you take the shot? I would have. And I believe he would have. I believe the Kevin Owens character, we know, if he would have gotten that opportunity, say if he switched out the bloodline with like the authority, say the authority was still a thing, and they're like, Kevin, you want to ride with us? You gotta bludgeon Sami Zayn. You wouldn't have even had to finish the sentence. Kevin absolutely would have done it. So I want Kevin to really internalize as a character what Sammy as a character has done for him here. And that's going to be so crucial. Otherwise, I'm always going to fuck with KO, but it may not be as passionately as I am right now. I thought the Rumble performance, while it wasn't my favorite of the trilogy that always belonged to the Last Man Standing match, I loved how Kevin himself, kind of came off in that match. It took 3 spears to beat him. I don't think he's ever been more credible, which also does kind of worry me for the Cody match because if it took 3 spears to beat Kevin Owens, it'll at least take the same number to beat Cody, if not more, and that's a bit noxious to me, but that's a separate conversation. Yeah, let's just see where he goes from here. KO Mania is on the horizon. He's fantastic. So that rounds out the WWE list for both of us. Now we move on to, what is it, AEW next?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so full disclosure about AEW, folks. You guys know that I personally don't watch the product. I barely watch any clips. So I tried to keep the Fave Five as honest as possible from people that I do watch, and you can consider the honorable mention of people that I want to catch up on. So here we go. 5, Samoa Joe. 4, Athena. 3, AR Fox. Congrats to him again. I will never stop saying it. I am so happy that dude is signed somewhere. 2, Swerve. 1, Bandito. So what is your AEW honorable mentions?
It's actually kind of funny because we have a couple of members of our honorable mentions in common. Number 5 on my honorable mentions is Bandito, so I guess we could say number 10 in my list would be Bandito. Number 9, Hikaru Shida. Number 8, Ruby Soho. Number 7, Athena. And number 6, Yuka Sakazaki.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna just get through this as quickly as possible because again, I'm being completely transparent with you guys. I'm not gonna try and act like I know more than I do. 5, Danielson. His promos could be a bit better in the MJF program, but he's still Brian fucking Danielson. That's enough for me. Who's number 5 for you?
Okay, number 5 for me is AR Fox. In this
Excellent.
in this sort of grading period, he has put on my, I believe, currently only match of the year candidate with Swerve earlier this year. I believe it was on 1-4. Yeah, it was on 1-4. And that, when it comes to AEW, sometimes that's enough. But he also had a solid match with Samoa Joe for the TNT title. If I remember correctly, that was actually the match where he broke out both Lo Mein Reign and then attempted to break out Lo Mein Pain, but failed. I could be wrong about the failing part. He might have actually just done Lo Mein Pain. But I was very stoked about that match. He had a solid performance in the big Casino Trios Battle Royal that they did on December 21st. And even more exciting, we've also got him, and this is not actually part of this rating period, but I am very excited for him and Top Flight to get their shot at the AEW Trios titles coming up here on Dynamite this coming Wednesday. Actually, tonight. It's fucking tonight. Today is Wednesday. Holy shit, that's going to be fucking awesome. So yeah, AR Fox cracks my top 5 because of basically, 2 matches and a few little sprinklings here and there.
4 for me, Hikaru Shida, because I have kept up with a few clips, like with her whole thing with like Paige and Tony and like all that shit. She's great. I think Hikaru Shida, I love that she got to main event the one Dynamite with Jamie Hayter, because nobody's fucking greater than Hayter. And I really hope for more for her. Hell, I wouldn't mind if Hikaru Shida ever ended up in Stardom one of these days if she was like really going to have a long stay in Japan and not be in America so much. I think she's a vital asset to any company that has her. Good shit there. Who's next on your list?
Next on my list is Adam Cole Baby.
Yes.
He literally hasn't even wrestled since he's been back, but he has cut a phenomenal promo, and I am just living for babyface Adam Cole right now. It's great to have him back on the light side, on the right side, on the the chill side. He's not dastardly anymore. He's got such likable eyes, man. I don't want to boo this man, so I don't have to compromise my morality in order to not boo him anymore because he's just a good guy now.
Proud of you. Proud of you.
Thanks.
All right. So next, Jamie Hayter. What
Number
else is there to
3,
say?
okay.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter, she's fucking amazing. She deserves everything she's gotten. And yeah, long may she reign. That's really all I've got. Who's next on your list?
Next on my list is number 3, Bryan Danielson. You already kind of mentioned, his promos have been really not good lately, which is why he's not higher on my list because, normally Danielson is like top 2, top 1 for me in any list. But yeah, he's the promos with him and Max have been bad. Other than the one where he talked about how he was going to expose Max, and the one where he initially demanded the 60-minute Iron Man match. I liked that one. I thought that was a good one, but all of the ones since then have just been so garbage. It's like Max is dragging him down to his level promo-wise, and I hate it. But the matches have just been so fucking good. The Bandito match was great. I can't wait for the fucking Thatcher match tonight. Good lord. The cage match last week was there. I don't even know, what to say about that. But yeah, I'm just loving that we're just getting an awesome Danielson match pretty much every week. And Thatcher tonight, I cannot wait for. So, who is your number 2, pal?
Hangman Adam Page. I mean, great freaking dude. Been loving the intensity with the Moxley feud. And you know what? There have always been conflicting opinions about his world title reign. Some say that he was like a bad champion, I guess, numbers wise. And if they have the hard data, you can't really argue with the data. But other people really liked him as champ. I liked him as world champion. I know you and I have always thought a lot of Page for years. And I still think highly of him.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I hope one day he's world champion again, to be quite honest with you. And maybe even as a heel. I think that could be very interesting. But yeah, right now, his work is quality. Nothing more really to say. So who's next on your list?
Number 2 on my list is Swerve Strickland. This
Beautiful.
Really unfortunate that he hasn't gotten more to do, but at the end of the day, I love the character, I love the performer, and I loved his match with AR Fox on that 1-4 show. It was fucking awesome. Plus, in this time period, we also had the angle where he did the curb stomp onto the cinder block onto Keith Lee's stomach. That was brutal. Perfect character-wise for Strickland. And there was also, he had a Rampage match with Wheeler Yuta like a week before the AR Fox match. So, again, not a ton to go off of, but, he's just so good that it doesn't really matter. He's just top of my list.
Number 1, and I can actually speak a little bit about this. I know I've been going at a lightning pace here, again, just because of my transparency about my relationship with AEW at present. Adam Cole, baby.
Nice. Love it.
And it's really easy to make number 1 when you're a part of a product I don't give a fuck about. But it also says a lot about you as a performer when I actually take time to watch your shit. And I actually did take time to watch the whole return promo.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude's magic. He's magic in a fucking bottle. He knows how to work a mic. He's great in the ring. I got so fired up from his promo and so excited for him because I know this has always put me on the other side of the fence for most people because I know you fucking hated this theme. I went and I listened to his New Japan theme. Why? Because it's him saying his name over and over again and Adam Cole talking about himself. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you all. It's more interesting than anything we've got going on. I mean, it might hurt, but it's true. So, yeah, I just listened to that theme. And it's like, Adam Cole, baby. And I'm like, yeah, that's that good shit. I'll tell you on a more serious note, the moment this dude steps in the ring with MJF and fucking ethers him on the mic, if he's not already the top babyface just from the comeback promo alone, that program, it's going to be like, oh, beat his ass and take that world title. If anything, you know who else should be stoked about fucking Adam Cole being back? Fucking Jon Moxley, because now he doesn't have to carry this fucking show on his shoulders anymore as the ace, and Danielson as well, carrying MJF through that current program. You've got more legitimate star power finally, AEW. Congratulations. I really hope you know what to do with it. Yeah, his sincerity, his vulnerability. Babyface Adam Cole never lasts long. And that's a shame because honestly, when we saw that in NXT in the Pat McAfee feud, I'm like, babyface Adam Cole could be a top guy. Like I genuinely believe
Oh
that.
my
Like
god,
he can,
yeah.
he cannot just be a world champion.
He
He could
could
be
be
the
the
top
face of
fucking
a
guy.
company, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Sami Zayn in his interview with Ariel Helwani, he made that distinction. Like, I'm the guy that's world champion, but I'm not the top guy. And I thought that was very humble of him to say that. I do think ultimately he is right if we're being pragmatic. But if you mean top guy as in I can show up on Jimmy Fallon like Roman Reigns did, Adam Cole 100% can. That dude,
Yep.
he is facially immaculate. Don't tell me a camera doesn't want to be in front of him. Fuck you. So yeah, Adam Cole, I mean, I mean, this is probably the most I've turned up on the AEW list. He's just superior to you. He's more talented than you. And I say you in a general human species sense. I implicate myself in this. I'm pretty great. I often tell people, hey, for someone that's not me, you're pretty okay. But even me, I have to bow before the greatness of Adam Cole. Put the world title on him yesterday. Have MJF crawl back into his mother, do it over again so he sucks less. And then in that time, because it's going to be a long time, just put the title on Adam Cole. It's really that simple. It's not that fucking hard. Do it because I tell you to. And God. So yes, just amazing. Probably one of the best things that this company is going. And if you think I'm being harsh about AEW, wait till we get later in our list because there's another guy that I want to give a lot of credit in a separate company, but it's going to require me tearing that company down. But we're going to get to that.
Oh,
we will
boy.
get back to that. We will get back to that. So you have one more, right? You have number one on your list. So who's number one on your AEW list?
Would you
Swerve
like
was
to
only number
venture
two,
a
right?
guess, or just say it?
I should know this, but I don't know this. So you could tell me.
Jamie Hayter.
See, and that's why I said I should know this. Yeah, you dude, I have loved how much you've enjoyed her run, and I've enjoyed how much you've gone to bat for her, having actually watched her run. So go ahead.
In my opinion, again, this is me just speaking as me, not trying to say that this is a fact, not trying to say that if you disagree with me, you're wrong, not trying to speak for us as a collective, none of that at all. Literally just me and my opinion, Jamie Hayter is the best thing that AEW has going for it right now. And she's the best thing they've had going for them since they put the title on her. And really arguably even maybe the best thing they've had going for them since that match where Britt screwed her out of the title, that fatal 4-way match where she had it won and then Britt screwed her. Because this woman can talk, she can act, she can wrestle her fucking ass off. And when she speaks, not only does she just, present herself and carry herself like a great champion, she's a great storyteller, but in my opinion, at least, she is an amazing representative of the company. Like, she is, like, I remember when you came back from your hiatus, you talked about how you had this epiphany about how you want your champions to be representatives of your company. You want them to be sort of the figureheads of your company. Jamie Hayter is an excellent that. Like Jamie Hayter,
100%.
Jamie Hayter is another one, like you mentioned about Adam Cole, that could go on Fallon and charm everyone's pants off and just be great. And I wouldn't blink an eye. That would be perfectly within reason, in my opinion. But I feel like AEW would send Britt instead, and it's fucking annoying.
Yes. Well said. No, because I think everything you said was right on the money, including the Brit part. I don't think they know what they have in her. But I'm so glad that people like you do, because I think champions like Jamie need advocates the most. They really do. So yeah, good shit there. Is there anything else you want to talk about there on that front, or can we move on to our New Japan list?
Let's talk about New Japan, I guess.
Yeah, my same energy actually. So I guess you go first with honorable mentions since I went first on AEW. So what do you got?
Yeah. So you can tell how short on names I was here because my honorable mentions list is the entire New Japan Women's Division and then two dudes. So starting at number 5, or I guess what would effectively be number 10 on my Fave 5 or on my top 10 in New Japan, Mercedes Moné. Obviously, I've had my criticisms of her. Still very excited to see her actually wrestle. Tam Nakano, who was just in New Japan as a representative at Wrestle Kingdom 4 or Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th. At Wrestle Kingdom, what is it? 15, 16? I don't even fucking know anymore. I lost track. It's got to be higher than that, right? 17 even, right?
17, yeah, 17.
Kairi would be number 8. Master Wato, number 7, and then Zack Sabre Jr. would be number 6 for me.
Okay, I'm actually, because you reminded me of some things, I'm making a last-minute adjustment to my list. Again, folks, I was really caught with my pants down this quarter, so. All right. 5, Suzuki. 4, Tanahashi. 3, Hiromu Takahashi. 2, Master Wato. 1, Jay White. So,
wow.
Who cracks your Fave 5 here?
Give me just a moment to record your unbelievable honorable mention Fave Fives. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me is Jay White, actually. So we weren't that far off on him. I had him at 5. He's great. He had a great match with Okada. Of course he did. Wish he would have kept the title, but not super surprised that he didn't. And hoping that the character shift that we've been hoping for actually happens. And that's probably why you had him in your honorable mentions and not on your list, because he decided to just do the thing he did with Ishii, but instead he did it with Hikuleo. He just blamed someone else for him not winning the title, and yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm ready for you to give me your number 5.
Number 5, never thought we'd be here again. Kenny Omega.
I don't blame you, man. I was tempted to put him on my list too. The only reason I didn't is because I felt like he's more AEW this time around than New Japan, but I do get it for sure. He's more interesting in New Japan than he is in AEW.
Yeah, and I know you and I sometimes will take liberties. It's like, oh, if they showed up on this show, does that count? And you and I, we find those creative loopholes sometimes when we're trying to make something work. Funny thing is, I didn't even really care for the match with Ospreay. I just really commend the man for trying to improve that face. So good job, Kenneth. You really tried harder than I think just about anyone.
Oh my God, you're talking about him slamming Ospreay's face into the table.
Yeah, if anyone deserved to have David Otunga spitting coffee on Natalia energy, it's Kenny Omega. Because that man was doing.
Think it's an improvement.
Yeah, look, honestly, for me, since I don't know, Adam Cole kind of tapped something into me, and now I just feel like this is it now for the rest of the Fave Fives. Kenny Omega was doing public service. This should be a tax write-off. What he tried to fucking do to that face. But yeah, I'm very curious about Kenny's future because Ibushi, I think, is actually returning to action soon, not with New Japan, outside of it. Have to wonder if Ibushi's going to end up in AEW this year or maybe 2024 if he wants to take it slow and take his time. To be honest, I'm even shocked we're talking about Ibushi wrestling at all. For a time, it looked pretty dire there. But if Ibushi's coming back, I have to imagine he's got Kenny on the fucking brain. And I feel like that would make Kenny in AEW more interesting if that is the case. So yeah, I'll give Kenny credit here because it's well documented how much I hated Wrestle Kingdom this year. Kenny was a bright spot because it reminded me of the Kenny Omega of old. So he comes in at number 5. Who is next on your list, sir?
Next on my list, number 4 is Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yes.
God, I really don't even want to explain this pick. I feel like once you know why I like someone in New Japan, that never changes. It's just Tanahashi. He's fucking amazing. The low-key, part of me even regrets having him lower than who my number 3 is, but then you look at the number 3 and it's like, but how can I put him above him? And it's Tanahashi and he's just fucking awesome. That's it.
I'm very tired of explaining myself on this pick, but for very different reasons. By the way, you're well within your rights, so I have your back on that one. Number 4 for me, Sonata. I'm really sick and tired of singing this guy's praises and New Japan just being like, no, fuck you, over and over. Again, we're at a point where I don't even know what TWitWoW is going to be doing with New Japan this year. Because again, I hated Wrestle Kingdom, and Ashton and I both, even though he wasn't nearly as harsh about Wrestle Kingdom as I was, we're both like, we got to see the fields for G1 because if they're mid, we might just skip it altogether. But even when they're mid, I'll be rooting for Sonata to fucking win it. If I get wind that he made the finals, I'll be like, oh, bro, we should react to that because maybe now it's finally time. He's amazing. He's everything you want in a locker room. He's everything you want in a fucking performer. He's safe while being exciting. And people like him, for fuck's sake. I am so tired. I am so goddamn tired. So I yield the floor because fuck them not getting it. So yeah, what do you got?
Okay. Number 3, Kazuchika Okada. Again, I really wanted to put Tanahashi above him, but like it's Okada. Can I justify that? I don't know. It's fucking Okada. Again, what is there to explain? Watch one Okada match and you'll get it. I don't need to explain this.
Yeah, I mean, facts. I mean, between your face and the excellence that your face, which is already by itself excellent, like you either get it or you're a mark. I don't know. I don't know. It's not my problem. Uh,
Oh God, I love that you said that. Yes.
I'm telling you, man, I'm on my bullshit now. Ever since that Adam Cole pick, I'm like, you know what? No, fuck everything right now. Yeah, no, it's all coming out now. Number 3, ZSJ.
Oh, okay, nice.
You're wearing a title that looks worse than a child smashing different colors of Play-Doh together, but hopefully he makes it fucking work. Him now being a part of the Mighty Don't Kneel and leading that faction is interesting because I do feel like New Japan actually likes ZSJ. In fact, it's funny, and I'm being serious when I say this. I think everything that I say about Sonata, like my lamentations about him, you shouldn't have that as a ZSJ fan. In fact, if you're a Zack Sabre Jr. fan, which I am, clearly having him on this list, cool.
He was my top honorable mention. Remember?
Oh, that is true. That is true. I still feel like there is a chance one of these days that he'll be the world champion.
I agree.
Like they just have,
they
have a weird relationship.
There's no fucking reason Zack can't.
Yeah, they have a weird relationship with him. I'm not saying it's bad, but New Japan very clearly likes him. That's one relationship that I can't fully read about what the ceiling is. So right now he's TV champion. We'll see where that goes. I think he's a really great technical wrestler. Again, sometimes could even make an argument of being the best one if Danielson ever stopped breathing, which thankfully won't be for a long time, hopefully. So yeah, ZSJ is fucking great. Who's next on your list?
Next on my list is... You already mentioned him. It's Sonata.
Yeah.
Can I just say, look at this handsome motherfucker and tell me why he isn't the face of the company already?
Given your tone, I just have to interject and I have to ask, are you as tired as I am? Because I'm so
might
tired.
be more tired, honestly. I just am better at not showing it.
Fair enough. It's a shame, isn't it? What could have been.
Remember a few years ago, before Evil turned, when Sonata was the 3rd most popular man in this company behind only Tanahashi and Naito and ahead of even Okada?
Yeah.
Remember how well they capitalized on that popularity? Yeah, neither do I.
I was gonna say with the same energy, no. Like, no. God damn it, man. He should at least be primed for his 2nd world title run. He should have already had his fucking 1st one.
He should have won the world title when Evil did. Let's be real.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry because I already talked about Sonata, but no, I can't let it go, man. See, this is why I have the crisp stuff on because you guys would be hearing so much right now because I'm losing my goddamn shit. I can't. You did this man so fucking dirty. How does Evil win a world title before Sonata does? How? What did Evil have on you? Like, no. There's a story there. There's a story there.
Slightly short-circuiting here a little bit. I just want to pull you back in a little tiny bit.
No. I will tilt my fucking face off, sir, because there is blackmail here. There is a conspiracy here. There is something here. Because there is no fucking way. God damn it. There is no fucking way. But anyway, continue because this is your time. Anything else you want to say about Sonata?
I already said it, man. He should be the face of, well, maybe not face of the company because that's Okada, but like, remember when we first got into New Japan and they had like their pillars, right? Like it was the main event guys. It was Okada, Tanahashi, Nakamura, and I think that there was like, was there a 4th guy in 2015 when we first got into it? I don't remember. But eventually that slot got filled by Naito, and Nakamura went away, and that slot basically got filled by Omega. And it was Okada, Tanahashi, Naito, and Omega at the top. And those were the untouchables. Nobody could beat them but each other, right?
Yeah.
Sonata should be on that level right the fuck now.
Yes.
It should be
Yes.
Sonata,
100%.
Okada, Jay White, and maybe even still Tanahashi, honestly, because he's fucking great.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that with Tanahashi because he's lost a lot. He's been losing a lot. But still, like, Sonata should be in that conversation without a doubt in my mind. He should be, if you can't have 4, at least have 3 and have it be Sonata, Okada, and Jay White. But it seems like right now it's literally just Okada and Jay White. And
Yeah.
arguably even fucking Osprey. Ew.
Oh God. I'm really thankful that I'm as turned up as I am right now for this person on my list. It is Okada. So fact about me, I'm poor. And because of that, I've really just had to kind of make my peace with this wealthy motherfucker coming to the Tokyo Dome in the usual Ferrari. I'm ever since that fucking line, I'm like, oh my God, I've learned everything I need to about you, and it was your fiance that told it to me. No, I would love, because I do it seemingly with everybody, I would love to turn on this man. I would love to be like, oh no, Okada ain't shit. This motherfucker big leagues everyone. He even big leagues me before I even think about big leaguing him. It's his world. I'm living in it. I concede. I mean, Jesus Christ, world champion again at Wrestle Kingdom. I personally feel like Jay White should have retained. Okada's bank statement disagrees. Okay, this dude is gonna run this company as long as he fucking wants. And honestly, if the matches keep being this good, I guess I won't stop him. Maybe, possibly. Could I even? Again, I'm poor. Not really much power over here. So, yeah, Okada's number 2. I honestly, I even have to wonder if Okada has a little bit of insecurity. Because are you just staying at the top because you're hoping one day you can finally surpass Tanahashi in popularity? Because, bruh, it's not happening.
I don't
I mean,
think
this
it's ever
dude,
going to happen, sadly. God damn it.
because I have to wonder if it's a comment, but I'm doing everything. I have the flashiest entrance. I'm great in the ring. And he is. Everything he would say about himself in his insecurity, the worst part is for everyone else,
Dude,
you have to corroborate it.
do you know
But
what the difference is, though?
what's the difference?
At least in my opinion, as an outside observer who's just a spectator, right?
Yeah.
I think the reason that Okada has struggled to reach the level of popularity of a guy like Tanahashi is because he how do I put this? I don't want to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to give genuine constructive criticism here.
Yeah.
In his matches, in the first 2/3 of his matches, it seems like he's phoning it in. That's the easiest way that I can put it. You know his matches are going to go over 30 minutes, and for the first 20, you don't have to watch. You don't have to pay attention. You don't have to care. Tanahashi's matches feel like a struggle from the opening bell. Okada's matches feel like he's coasting from the opening bell and only get interesting in the finishing sequence.
Yeah.
Now, the finishing sequences are incredible, and they arguably make the matches even better than Tanahashi's. But for that Japanese audience who are there live, like, you've got to keep them engaged bell to bell, and Okada just doesn't do that. Tanahashi does. Naito does. Naito, when that bell rings, he is immediately working. He does the fucking LIJ shit. He'll do like I'm going to engage with you, but no, I'm actually not. I'm going to walk around and take a little breather. I'm going to roll out of the ring and piss you off. Like, Naito's matches stay interesting from the get-go. Okada's matches are boring when they start. That's the only negative about this dude. His matches don't start interestingly. That's it. And I think that's the thing that's keeping, because like, if you, and that's the big thing with Japan too, right? Is Japan, like, they like Yoshihashi because he tries. Okada doesn't fucking try until he has to. That's the difference.
Yeah. And like, it's almost, see, I don't even disagree with what you're saying, but like, my thing is hearing that and agreeing with you is that that's almost an insult to everyone else. Cause it's like, my God, I don't even try and I'm here. And then when I do try, it's like I'm in my own universe. Like nobody touches me when I try. And like, that's insane to me, man. That's fucking insane to me. But yeah, I don't think he'll ever eclipse Tanahashi, but still, what a career. I can't believe he's fucking world champion again. In 2023, we're talking about Okada as world champion. It's nuts. But anyway, who rounds out your New Japan list?
Have you ever had a really, really good meal and it was like, man, really substantial? It was like a meat and potatoes kind of meal,
Yeah, yeah.
but like before you ate the meal, you had an appetizer that the way home from the restaurant, you just can't stop thinking about how fucking good that appetizer was, even though the meal was good too.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
That's my number one here. It's like Wrestle Kingdom was so good by the end of it. Okada was great. Jay White was great. You know, even the Muto retirement match I thought was great with fucking Shota Umino. I really liked him. If I would have been willing to put more than 5 people in my honorable mentions, he probably would have made it. Um, but man, Minoru Suzuki on the undercard just did it for me.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
I love that he's still that strong for you all
Dude,
this time later. What a legend.
There's just it's like Kobashi-esque, right? It's like there's just something about the way this dude works that makes you feel more than anyone else. Like it's like take what Tanahashi has, like that spark, and crank it up to 11, and you've got Suzuki.
Yeah, for sure.
The difference though is that like I feel like Suzuki is even better at making matches feel real.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes. Yes. Oh man. Yeah. I love that dude. I'm telling you, the day that man retires, I'm going to be shedding a few tears, and I definitely think a part of wrestling history will have gone with him because that dude is literally the last of, I would say, an already dead breed. But he's just keeping that pulse going. Um, Learn from Suzuki while you can, people. Any wrestlers that are into New Japan, like either working for them or fans of them, study that fucking dude. That dude, I wish more wrestlers had his mentality just as far as how you work a match, without a doubt. Okay, do we move on to Stardom now?
Bro, who was your number one?
Oh, my number one. Oh my god, of course. Kairi. Kairi. I figured it would count for her because she is the IWGP Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And working with Tam there. And yeah, like you with Suzuki, no reason to go into it. I've always loved Kairi, always will love Kairi, and I'm just happy for her success. So now, with that said, can we get into Stardom?
Yes, we can. And since I think I went first for New Japan, I guess you get to go first here for Stardom.
I am really excited about this Stardom list because, man, a lot of shakeups this time around. So 5 for me is still Momo. 4,
Which Momo?
Inaba. Momo Watanabe. Yes, because that's right. Momo Kogo is a thing. That is true. So Momo Watanabe. 4 is Inaba.
Nice.
3 is Waka. She almost actually made Fave 5 until I remembered some people. I've really been enjoying Waka lately. So 3 is Waka. 2, Azumi. 1, Starlight Kid. That's the first big thing. Starlight Kid did not make my Fave 5. But she was close. So who are in your honorable mentions for Stardom?
Very interesting. Okay. I have actually a much larger honorable mentions list for this than you did because I didn't limit myself to 5 because there's just too many names to mention for me. So starting at the bottom, I will mention when we reach my top 5 honorable mentions so that we can kind of go from 10 to 6 again like I've been doing.
Yes.
But to start things out, Micah made my honorable mentions at the very bottom. Then we had Ami Sourei, Karma, Starlight Kid, Hanan, Saki Kashima, Tomoka Inaba, Himeka, and now we get into my top 5 honorable mentions, starting at number 10, just like you, Momo Watanabe, Julia. Oh fuck, I was late. Technically Himeka would be number 10, then Momo would be 9, Julia would be 8, Azumi would be 7, and then Lady C would be 6.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. And now I'm really excited for yours too. Because we'll see how yours and mine kind of clash a little bit. So coming in at number 5 for me is Micah. I've been teasing that,
okay.
Micah's going to have a good year with me this year. Between stuff we've seen in Stardom and even extracurricular stuff, her laughing in Ida's face when they were doing that judo tournament and wrestling her down. You showed me the clip of her doing the same thing with Utami. I mean, not laughing in her face, but beating Utami and grappling.
Yeah.
That I thought was also impressive.
Judo thing, yeah.
I've vibed more with her
I don't think
in-ring
that
stuff.
was meant to be judo. I think that was meant to be sumo.
Meant to be sumo. Either way, she's a beast. And, I've been vibing more with her in-ring stuff on Stardom. As a personality, I've really grown to love her. I think she's very endearing.
Yes.
And, I think it's going to be a very good year for Micah. And, so who's number 5 for you?
I think this is the first time that this woman has been on either one of our lists ever. I want to double check and make sure of that. She's been an honorable mention for me before. She's been an honorable mention for you before as well. This is the first time she's ever made one of our lists, and I'm very happy about that because she's one of the most interesting stories going on in Stardom right now, as well as Lady C and, like you mentioned in your honorable mentions, Waka Tsukiyama. Momo Kogo is my number 5.
Oh, I love that, dude. Great pick.
Because, dude, here's the thing. Not only is she legitimately one of the most interesting stories in Stardom right now, in my opinion, she's also one of the most talented wrestlers in Stardom.
Yes.
Now, I have to emphasize talented because I don't think she's one of the best wrestlers in Stardom. I don't think that she's even in, like, the top 10, I would say, best wrestlers in Stardom. But I would argue for her being in, like, the top 3, maybe 4 most talented wrestlers in Stardom. Her ceiling is high, man. Her ceiling is really high. She is incredibly talented. She is fast. She's athletic. She can actually, like, do wrestling stuff, like grappling and shit like that. And she's charismatic as all hell. She can speak English. I don't know if you saw that clip. I posted a clip yesterday of her saying...
I did. Oh, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it.
Her English is
it's
clean
amazing.
as fuck. And I was shocked when I heard her talk when she was speaking English there. She's talking about, I'm very smart because I can speak English. And she just sounds like that. It's not like there's no, like, strong Japanese accent like you'd expect, like when Tam or, Mina even speaks English. There's not that. It's just, she just sounds like a fucking English person. An American even.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I really enjoy Momo Kogo's work. I think that she's got a massive ceiling. Honestly, even if she is 37, which is like the big rumor on the internet, I don't think she's that old, but even if she is, the fact that she's still in as great of shape as she is right now, she clearly takes good enough care of her body to wrestle for at least a few more years. So I'm going to keep saying that she has a sky-high ceiling because she clearly hasn't been in the business for very long. And, experience is going to improve her by a lot because she's already really freaking good.
I want her and Mayu to win the tag titles. I'm all about Peach.
I guess in my mind, if you take Mina Shirakawa in 2020 and advance Momo Kogo by the amount that Mina has advanced in these 2.5 years, Momo's going to be one of the best wrestlers on the fucking planet by 2026.
There you go. This is where it gets interesting.
Number 4.
Because if you would have told me that not only would this person make a Fave 5, actually be in the mix, but not even be at the bottom like Micah, but be number 4, I would have laughed at you. But I am really loving what is happening with them.
Can I say something real quick before you go into this?
What?
I want to apologize. Javaris actually bringing up Suzu Suzuki. I completely forgot about Suzu, and I feel terrible about it. I am slotting her in ahead of Momo Watanabe in my honorable mentions, behind Julia.
Okay.
I just wanted to let everyone know that I was doing that because that puts her in my top 10. That puts her at number 9 with Momo now going back to 10 and knocks Himeka out of my top 10.
Yes.
So, just wanted to say that out loud. Now, continue.
Number 4 for me, Lady C.
Yes!
Wow.
Yes.
So here's the funny thing, guys. And I've said this before because for as much fun as I like to have, for as much as I like to turn up, I always also try and be honest as best I can. And I've been honest about the fact that I love Kamitani. Ashton advocated for her first. From the jump, advocated for her. I feel like it was the same thing with Lady C, right? I've never really claimed to be a big Lady C fan, I've always liked her. I've never been like, oh, she sucks. Oh, she should get out of there. But like, you know, she was kind of there for me. Good stuff. We'll see where it goes. Now that they actually seem to be giving a shit about her, oh my God. I mean, between, I know this is outside the grading period because we already kind of talked about that the last Fave Five, but between the New Blood promo at the press conference, the match with Nana, and now this whole story, the Triangle Derby, Mahime Supremacy, I have fucking love this goddamn team. She's been bringing it. The interaction she had with Utami, I honestly think the interaction she had with Utami and having Utami beat not once but twice was like, okay, yeah, she's there. She's there. Because what that showed me was if you really gave a shit about Lady C and you pushed her to the main event,
Dude,
she could carry the load.
I have to tell you, you're confusing our last Fave 5 with our year-end awards.
What do you mean?
Our last Fave 5 happened before Lady C's promo on Nanae.
Oh, well, then it does count in the grading period, and all the more reason. All the more reason then. Yeah. No, she has been, I'll tell you, even though she's only number 4 for me, if we were to look at Fave 5 of who has made the most of a grading period, who has made the most of a quarter that we give them, I would go to bat for Lady C and say nobody has used their quarter as well as she has. The stuff that she has done has been amazing between the promo, the stuff with Utami in the ring, the staying competitive and spirited, the stuff on Twitter where I feel like she might go DDM's way. And let me tell you something, folks. If she goes to DDM, I would never speak for Ashton. He's more than capable of speaking for himself, but speaking for myself, get used to seeing her in my top 5 because her in DDM, I think, is just what she fucking needs. And I love Queen's Quest. Love Queen's Quest. But there is something about DDM Lady C. I'm going to say it. I want her not only in this faction, I want her to do so well in this faction that when the champions do the obligational, like, keeping it in the family title defense, I want Julia versus Lady C. No cap. I want Julia versus Lady C for that world title after Lady C has spent enough time in DDM and shown, like, oh my God, we've made you good, but how good? And, like, finding that out. This woman's great. I love her moveset. I love that she actually honors Kobashi, unlike certain hamsters that somehow found their way into a wrestling ring. I love her moveset. That giant clutch with the chop combo is so unique.
Yep.
Obviously, she has great look. We've been saying that from day fucking one. She's an underrated promo. I'll fucking say that too. I think she's an underrated promo. She is one of the women. When I have gone to bat, and I will give myself credit for this because I give you credit for having like that eye for talent and everything. I have consistently advocated for the women to get more promo time in Stardom. That's kind of been my thing. I want them to have more time to talk. She is one of the women at the forefront of my goddamn mind when I say that the women need more time to talk. I want to hear more from her. You have a story. I want to hear it. I want to hear her story out of her mouth because if Mina's story captivated me, Lady C to go from a teacher to this and talking about her passion, tell me that. How do you go from literally A to Z? I can't think of any more jobs that are more antithetical from teacher to pro wrestler. Because model, I get. Athlete, I get. That's not as much of a money transition. How do you go from, okay, kids, open your textbooks to page 222 to I'm going to chop your fucking brain out of your skull? I want to know that story. I think this woman's great. I honestly, she can go as far as she wants to and as far as Stardom will permit her. If they really got behind her and they got her in DDM before the Cinderella tournament, I would even consider her a low-key favorite. I want to see more from her. I already said, too, on a recent recording, I want to see her and Utami in the same 5 stars block, and I honestly want to see Lady C go over because I think Utami could take the loss, no problem. You need to make this woman. You need to let people know, like, she is fucking here. And so, yeah, I never thought the day would come where not only would Lady C make a Fave 5, but I would be so passionate about her and her possibilities. But that's the magic of Stardom, is that in any given moment, a person can go from here all the way up here and just keep it up, Lady C. It's been awesome.
And hey, man, really she's still awesome. Eligible for the future title for a few more months. Actually, her eligibility runs out in November.
Yeah, no, I really would love at the present time for her to be the one to beat Ami Sourei. Who also has a bright future. And I'll tell you, if I didn't constrict myself by my own anal rules to just 5 honorable mentions, like you, Suzu would have been on there, and Ami sure as shit would have been on there. Ami is awesome too. But yeah, Lady C, just had to show her some extended love. I love when we get to our Stardom list, and she was the biggest splash on there by far. Everything else is kind of par for the course for the most part. But yeah, Lady C, good shit. Who's next on your list?
I'm much more chalk here. Number 4 for me, Saya Kamitani, the usual, the Phoenix, the Golden Phoenix of Stardom, been killing it as usual. I do believe that our last list was after the Mina botch, so this is not even taking that into account. This is her match with Haruka. This is her work so far in the Triangle Derby mostly. She's just been great, man. She's an awesome performer. I love watching her work. I love how athletic she is. Her promos are fun and goofy, like almost on a Mayu level in that way. And yeah, man, she's just one of my favorites in general.
Hell yeah, man. Hell fucking yeah. Number 3 for me, it's about time she got more love from me. And this is one reason why Kid got knocked off. Himeka. Himeka. My Hime is a gift. It really is. And then the
Apparently,
Triangle
My
Derby, my
Hime with
Hime.
She is a gift because those completely monopolize the 5 through 3 spots in your Fave 5.
Yeah, and I was even getting ready to say, I was gearing up to say my Hime Supremacy in the Triangle Derby really did so much this grading period. Look, I love Starlight Kid. There's a reason why she was number 1 because I will never not think that Starlight Kid, won't be a Wonder Champion or World Champion. Like the world is hers. The world is hers. I've been saying I can't wait to see her and Mayu share a ring again this year because the sooner that happens, the fucking better. Himeka, though, is fantastic. I mean, you and I, look, I know who I'm talking to because you've went to bat for her just like I have. You and I are both kind of sick about her place on the card. I want her so badly to win those Goddesses belts with Micah, which is one of my favorite relationships in wrestling right now, against 7 Up. Fuck 7 Up on February 4th. But Himeka is somebody, I mean, first of all, look, I ain't going to cap. We're not going to take this to a weird place. I am 100% crushing on Himeka. I'm just going to leave it at that. Himeka, my God, makes my heart flutter every time she comes out and she smiles and she waves. I'm like, oh my God, how do we give so, like, I'm literally Googling, how do I hold everything in my hands to give her everything all at once? She's amazing. And in the ring, she's big, but she's got the speed and her power is so believable. And to me, she's got an understated charisma. And we even know she can be a bit crazy too. We've seen those faces she's made to Shuri in the past and stuff like that. I want to see.
Never
I
forget
didn't
that
say
press
this more.
conference with Kamitani where she just randomly decided to rip her shirt open.
Yeah. Oh
for
my
no reason.
God. Yeah. And like, yeah, I want unhinged Himeka at some point. Maybe it'll be over Lady C because maybe, they lost her because Himeka really seems to have taken a
She
shine to
seems
Lady
really
C as well.
supportive of Lady C, yeah.
I know, dude. It's so beautiful. Yeah, really. That kind of monopolized my Fave 5 was fucking friendship, people. Fucking sisterhood. This sisterhood is so beautiful. I believe in it. God, with all the traumatic shit in the bloodline, I go over to Stardom and be like, okay, you're not going to hurt me, right? Well, sort of, yes, but also we have this. And I'm just like, oh, and I'm just letting it all go and I'm feeling happiness and sunshine and it's amazing and don't take it from me because I will hurt someone. But yeah, Himeka, she's wonderful. I want to see her one day as Wonder Champ. In an ideal world, she would even have a brief world title run, but I'm not getting my hopes up. This woman can do everything and she can probably do it better than most. So Himeka, talk show host, student council president, phenomenal wrestler. Nothing else to really say. So who is next on your list?
Next on my list, speaking of women that John is currently crushing on, number 3 on my list is Utami Hayashishita.
Oh, God, yes. God, yes. Continue.
I mean, kind of another Tanahashi here, right? What is there to say? She's fucking excellent. She radiates amazing. She radiates regalness. She's radiates, I should say, not radiance. She is radiant though. That helps. Um, she, I will say, I loved her little moments in the sort of goofy Stardom year end, let's show everyone our personalities videos where they had like, one of them was the like doing the karaoke of the what does the fox say, like dancing to it, and she was like, well, everyone's gonna actually know the dance and I don't, so I'm just gonna try and seduce everyone. It was hilarious and awkward and kind of cringe in my opinion, but that's just part of her charm. And yeah, she's just lovely, but also she's a fucking incredible wrestler, and I can't wait for her World of Stardom Championship match with Julia. Whenever that happens, I don't know when it'll happen, but hopefully soon.
Not soon enough, friend. Two for me, Mina Shirakawa, currently leading Club
Same, by the
Venus.
way. We both
Um,
have Mina at 2.
excellent, excellent. I love her, man. You and I both. It's so funny that we have her at the same spot because literally, what could either one of us say that hasn't already been said? I can't wait for the white belt rematch. She's fucking awesome. Mina Shirakawa all the way. Is there anything you want to add?
I mean, I've talked about this multiple times while we've been watching these Triangle Derby matches. I love that Mina, at 35 years old now, I believe,
Yeah.
might be 36 even. Let me look again. No, it's 35. Okay. She is 35 years old, and she is wrestling at a more impressive pace and arguably outworking the two 24-year-old women in her faction right now. Consistently in every match that they have, she is the standout. She is the workhorse. Like, Mariah May might have the big spot where she does the fucking tombstone or whatever, and that's cool. I don't have a problem with Mariah May. But Mina is consistently the one putting in that hustle. She is the one running around to play defense, to make sure spots are going to get set up correctly, to hit her spots correctly. Like, she is such a workhorse right now. I adore this woman.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. One for me, Utami. I shouldn't have to explain myself. If people don't know about her greatness, I mean, in this case, you are wrong. She's not the problem. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it because it's not how much you say, it's just how you say it, and yeah, just get good or don't. I really don't care which because she's constant, and that's really all that matters. So who's number one on your list?
I
Oh wait,
mean,
no, no. We all know. We all fucking know. See, I call myself this time. I call myself this
I
time.
mean,
It's yeah, yeah. I never want to reveal other people's shit, but we all know. But just go ahead and say it for the formality.
it's Husky.
Of course, yes, yes, of course.
What would you have done if I would have been like, it's Lisa Sarah?
Honestly, truthfully, without even thinking, I would have been like, "Fuck you," and I would have. I would.
No, yeah,
Fucking
of
gaslight me,
course, it's
motherfucker.
Hazuki. She is, God. You know, it's funny because we were talking when I mentioned earlier about how Momokogo is like top 3, maybe top 4 as far as most talented women in Stardom. Top 2 to me are Mayu and Kamitani. That number 3 spot is a competition between Hazuki and Kogo. I really don't know which one of them I would say is the more talented performer, but I know damn well that Hazuki's the better performer. I know damn well that Hazuki is like one of the top 3 or 4 best overall performers in this company, at least in my opinion. I think she's fucking incredible. I love her. Like, this is the weird thing because, like, Hazuki's great. Like, she's beautiful. She has great hair. We could talk about all of her great traits all day long. But at the end of the day, when she's actually in the ring, she has a few spots that are really fun. Like, the face wash and like the sort of sit out Michinoku driver type kind of thing that she does. But like, the thing I love about Hazuki is her killer instinct, man. Like, this woman, like, she is a baby face. Like, she is a baby face through and through. She's a good guy. She is, you know, for all intents and purposes, morally correct most of the time. But when she is in between those ropes and she sees an opportunity to either A, protect one of her faction mates from something bad happening to them, or B, win a match for her team, the Oedo Tai comes out. Her aggression, oh my god. Her ability to just go from 0 to 100 in a second. I fucking love that shit. Like, that's what was so incredible to me about her 5-star matches in the first half of the 5-star when she was on her winning streak was like she was the only woman in the tournament and arguably the only person in wrestling who would hit a big move, and rather than going for the pin and then having this big shocked, stunned kick out face afterwards, she would hit the big move and then she would hit another big move and then she would hit her finisher and then she would go for the pin and just win the fucking match because that's what you should fucking do. And that's that killer instinct, man. I love that shit so much.
Dude, I will say, only because I know with both of our number ones what is there to say, so I will just say a little bit about Hazuki, who she really is the Danielson for me because I consistently do not give her the respect she deserves, and I can own that 100%. I think she's one of the best workhorse wrestlers, period. Men, women, I don't give a shit. She's one of the best workhorse wrestlers per generation. Like, it really, like, that 5-star, man, I still haven't gotten over her 5-star performances.
Yeah.
And it really just showed me, like, give this woman literally anything. She'll knock it out of the park.
Yep.
She's a cut above, man. She's a cut above.
Pretty much.
All right. This leads us to our other list. Now, I'm going to be honest, for this period, I did not have an honorable mention. So, my friend, you can give your honorable mention first, and I feel like you would have anyway, because just the order of things. But I did not have an honorable mention, so you can go ahead.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, my honorable mentions. Number 5, or I guess number 10, I should say. Miyu Yamashita. Number 9, Hikari Noa. Number 8, Yuki Kamifuku, aka Kamiyu. Number 7, Koki from Actress Girls. And number 6, Saki Akai.
Cool. Cool. All right. Number 5 for me, Ace Austin from Impact. Yeah, solid X Division wrestler. Curious to see more from him, seeing as how I have my finger more on the pulse of Impact than I expected to, given both Angel requesting to watch that one match and me just kind of just dropping in. Because the funny thing about Impact is they practically upload their full shows on YouTube. I've noticed that like they'll upload full segments on their YouTube, probably because their TV network is so small that they want to, maximize their socials and get as much viewership as possible. So I've seen a bit of Ace Austin. Good shit. Nothing more to say. So who cracks your Fave 5 to start your other list off?
That would be Mizuki out of TJPW.
Cool.
She did win that match, the 6-way sort of qualifying match where the winner gets a shot. And because of that, coming up in March, she is getting a shot at Yuka's title. Magical Sugar Rabbits collide. I can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Love Mizuki's style. I think she has a really unique style in the ring that really you don't see just about anywhere else. The closest thing that comes to it really is just Riho, who we also love here. And yeah, getting to see basically like a sort of Elseworlds version of Riho with her own little spin on it, literally spin because of the whirling candy that she does move.
Yes.
It's really beautiful to see. And yeah, I like Mizuki a lot. I think she's also very adorable. I love her little fucking chipmunk cheeks. I think she's just super cute. And yeah, great wrestler. So there's number 5 for me. Who's your number 4?
Chris Bay. Another one that I've seen a bit on Impact. I gotta be honest. I don't really get. And again, that's only because I'm just so out of the loop. I don't get why you have a guy like this in Bullet Club, which is a dying faction. I think Chris Bay has a great look, and he does really good shit in the ring, and he's really solid. This is a guy, and I'm not trying to tear another wrestler down, right? I swear that's not what I'm trying to do. You've had Swan be the Impact World Champion. I like Swan. I fucks with Swan. I actually had a little bit of a friendship with him back in the Force One days because I would always talk to him after shows. And when he turned heel, I was the only one that didn't turn like my back on him. And I'm not even saying in a scumbag way. I liked him that much. I didn't really care if he was a face or a heel. I think Swan's a phenomenal talent. But if you can make Swan a world champion and have him main event bound for glories and stuff like that, how Chris Bay has not gotten that treatment, I don't understand. Because I think this dude has the goods. And I have more to say about Impact.
I fucking love Chris Bay.
Yeah, I have more to say about Impact, but I'm saving it for my number 1. If you notice, I did promise a rant, but I'm not going to waste it on these two guys.
What's kind of funny, actually, is that Chris Bay is your number 4 and Ace Austin is your number 5, and those guys were a fucking team in the Junior Tag League this past year, and they made it to the fucking finals only to lose to Leo Rush and Yo.
First of all, that's offensive.
They were one win away from being at Wrestle Kingdom and challenging for the junior tag titles.
Yeah. Again, that's offensive. But second of all, I actually kind of separated these guys because they're still a tag team in Impact. In fact, they beat the major players, Brian Myers and I know not Zack Ryder, but Cardona, Matt Cardona, Matt Carbonara, whatever the fuck. So yeah, they beat them in a tag match recently, and I just kind of separated them because one stood out more in the tag match than the other, but they did win. So it seems like the story is going to be them going after the Impact Tag Titles against the Machine Guns,
Right.
which should be a really fun fucking tag match. But yeah, Chris Bay, I think he's above this. Honestly, I think he's actually pretty far above this. So I'll be curious what his 2023 looks like. But who's next on your list?
Number four. Yeah, number 4 for me is Maki Ito.
Wonderful.
Dude, I love that. Like, every now and then we'll just watch something that'll just completely reinvigorate my love for someone. And yeah, that 6-way match, just a quick, easy reminder that Maki Ito is fucking excellent and that you should never let anyone tell you that she's not a good wrestler because that's a bold faced lie. She's a fucking great wrestler and she's a fucking great entertainer. And the fact that AEW has barely used her at all, and when they do, they almost treat her like a joke, and they like have her do silly comedy shit like singing her theme song at the top of the ramp while a match is going on in the ring, rather than actually giving her a legitimate push, is baffling to me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, dude, she is fucking phenomenal. I wish the state of American wrestling was better because I'm telling you, if I could really trust WWE to have their shit together with her, I say it every time. A WrestleMania entrance with Maki Ito would be the most legendary shit you'd ever fucking see. Far and away. She just gets it. She gets the pro wrestling industry. I think her career has been very kind to her and will continue to be so. I hope she's the world champion of TJPW at least within the next 2 years. At least. I mean, the woman's got an amazing story. She's great in the ring, like you said. She is nowhere near a bad wrestler. She can absolutely work. And she just checks every box. So I always smile when you consistently give her love on these. Speaking of consistently giving love, number 3 for me, Miyu Watanabe. Just one of the best parts of TJPW. Her recent successful title defense against Trish Adora, I thought was really well done. God, her power is so fun to watch. She's such a powerhouse and such a tiny, cute package. What the fuck? She brought the swing back because I know the swing never left, but before it was like, oh, you know, that's cool, but I guess it doesn't do it. The way she's innovated the swing, it's like, I believe it. In fact, if anybody should have been making people tap out to their swings, it is Miyu Watanabe. It's weird that they gave that to Claudia with fucking Jericho, but that's, you know, that's a separate thing. Again, much like Maki Ito, I said a few moments ago, this woman's a star. This woman should be leading TJPW in the future, and I think they have the plans to. I think she's definitely a pillar, since we've kind of used that language throughout this commentary talking about certain companies. And I think her best is yet to come. So, yeah, Miyu Watanabe, number 3. Who is next on your list?
Number 3 on my list is Yuka Sakazaki, actually.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, the only real exposure that I've had to her as far as TJPW goes is the match with Miyu, which was a little underwhelming, but I do feel like she was the standout of the match over Miyu, which is why Miyu was at the bottom of my honorable mentions and Yuka is number 3 on my actual list.
Yes.
So
makes sense. Yeah.
I appreciate Yuka's work in the ring. I love her character work right now. This sort of dark Yuka that we've been getting for the better part of the last year or so. And she also made my AEW honorable mentions because she has been doing some cool stuff on their Dark and Elevation and all that with Athena. So she's had very different stuff going on in 2 completely different promotions, and she's made 2 different lists because of it for me.
Yeah, there you go. Number 2 for me was Yuka Sakazaki.
Oh, nice. You switched because I had me.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I fucking love the bully mode that she's been on. What a freaking ace, honestly. Like, she just has that energy.
Yeah.
Like, people paid to see me, and I'm going to give them their money's worth. And, yeah, Mizuki, that whole match that she's got, that's going to be fucking awesome. I think it's going to be a really fun bout. Obviously, a lot of history there, as you talked about earlier. You already did a great exposition of that. I don't need to go into that. I'd fumble the ball anyway. But Yuka, just amazing. That's another woman I'd love to see just do a brief run with Stardom, because my God, the fun we could have together. But yeah, Yuka is a phenomenal performer. She should be very happy with what she's doing in TJPW, because I think she's one of the biggest stars in that company and really one of its biggest selling points. So should be very proud. Who's next on your list?
I just said it's Miyu. I had Miyu.
Oh yeah, it's Miyu. You have Miyu at number 2. So yeah, we did switch.
Miyu
like
Watanabe
you said.
is my number 2. I love though that there's this weird thing going on with Miyu Watanabe where she's almost bringing back like late 80s Hulk Hogan style matches where like they build the story throughout the match of her having to accomplish something in order to win the match. Like against Miyu, it was hitting her finisher. It was hitting that like over the shoulder, like spinning slam kind of move that she does, right?
Yeah.
And like she went for it 2-3 times and Miyu kept countering it, and then she finally hit it and it actually won her the fucking match. And it was obviously after the swing, and it was just this great in-match story that they did with her. It was awesome. And then against Trish Adora, the story was, can she lift her? And they did a great job building the story to that, even having a fake out on the swing where it looked like she was going to swing Adora, but she couldn't. She didn't have the power. You know, it was like she was too like weakened from the damage she had taken. And there was like build up to her having to try again and actually get it. It was great. I love that they're doing this with her. I don't know whose decision this is. It might even just be her making this decision on her own and just having this in her fucking memory bank of like these old school matches building towards an accomplishment for the babyface and popping the crowd that way and having it be like the climax of the match. You know what I mean? But like they've been great. They've been fucking awesome. Her matches have been her big matches specifically have been so good lately. And the Trish Adora match was part of this grading period. That was my favorite match at the big 1-4 show that we reacted to on 1-3 because we're not in Japan. But yeah, man, Miyu's shit has been really fucking good lately. And I think that her matches on the big shows are quickly becoming the matches that I'm looking the most forward to on those big shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So number one for me, and I'll tell you, moments like this are why I'm really happy we actually have an other list. Because at times you could happen upon a talent and just think like, oh wow, I really like this person. Now I actually have to thank Foster for this because they kind of got the whole ball rolling. And then I was thinking about the dude the other night, knowing that we had Fave Fives coming up. My number one is Joe Hendry from Impact,
Oh.
currently the digital media champion. I'm gonna be honest, okay. Now this is where the kind of rant comes in. Uh Impact has some quality workers for sure. I mentioned Chris Bay, Ace Austin. They've got Jordan Grace. They've got talented people. It looks like a fucking trailer park promotion. Like, look, I'm just gonna be completely honest. I look at it, the crowds are small. I mean, my God, the way they've gone down over the years, just in terms of like the aesthetic and the overall production, which it's funny because you have a lot of competent parts, even commentary. When you have somebody like Tom Hannafin, who is really good at what he does, it's not that they don't have anything. So I want to be measured in my criticism. I don't want to go completely off the trail. But my God, it looks bad. They had a golden 6-shooter match with like who all a match of all former world champions, and the winner would face Josh Alexander. Swan ended up winning it. Dude, they had fucking Rhino and Sammy Callahan in there. They both look like shit to me. Rhino looks fucking huge. Could probably only do a couple right hands and maybe a gore. And Sammy Callahan, I don't know what the fuck happened to this dude. Apparently he's in a storyline with Cody Deaner. I didn't know that was even still a thing. So I'm like, oh my God, this looks like some fucking white trash, fucking trailer park fucking shit. And then Joe Hendry happens. Now, why I thanked Foster in the Discord, I believe in the Wrestling Discussion channel, and Javaris is right. Mike Bailey is also on Impact. I have not watched any of his stuff, though, Javaris. That's why I haven't mentioned him. But I know Mike Bailey's good because I've seen enough PWG stuff. Why I'm thanking Foster in the Wrestling Discussion channel, he posted Hendry's Titantron
It
and
was
his theme
actually in the
song.
music channel, believe it or not.
It was actually in the music channel. Oh, right, for Boop of the Day. That's right. And it just had like Adult Swim infomercial vibes. And like in the best way, because not all the infomercials were like hyper creepy and traumatic, like unedited footage of a bear. There were like sillier ones and more offbeat ones. And that was the I believe in Joe Hendry. And just him smiling, total 90s sitcom energy. And I'm like, okay, but why do I love this? And then last night, I'm watching a few clips of the dude, and it's like, say his name, and he appears. Because they did that whole thing backstage where they had a wrestler talking with a woman, and he's like, listen, you know how awful he is, and he took a spot that should have been mine. And she's like, who? He's like, don't say his name. And then in the like a locker that they were speaking in front of, Hendry appears out of the locker. And he's got a great look. He's got the short blonde hair that's, neatly like cut and combed. Good look. He's 34 years old, so he's a bit on the older side, but he's a power wrestler, seemingly predominantly, and it looks good. It looks good. I saw him versus Brian Myers. I saw him versus another guy whose name I can't remember, and he's a great promo. I'll tell you, he to me has got Mr. Kennedy vibes a little bit, but I think he's a babyface right now. But this is so believable as well as a heel gimmick because I could just see people being like, Joe Hendry, I wish I was you, and him just being like, I know, but I'm enough of me for both of us. So don't worry. All you have to do is believe in Joe Hendry. And like I could see it being a heel thing, but right now it's a babyface thing. And yeah, Hendry's fucking great. Honestly, Impact is so fucking lowbrow and so fucking bottom feeder that if you're still trusting Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray to be headliners in 2023, there is no reason why this dude shouldn't be a future world champion. Yeah, Javaris, I was actually going to get to that. Cardona wants to challenge for the digital media championship, and Hendry came out and he accepted the challenge, and he did this song because that's kind of Hendry's thing is he makes songs on people that he's feuding with or he's trying to get in the head of. He did the same thing with Moose actually, but I haven't heard that one. But he did a song for Cardona called Edge's Bitch, and one of the lines was, "You're king of the indies, and now you're rich. But to me, you'll always be Edge's bitch." And like it's got good rhythm. It's catchy. The crowd was chanting Edge's bitch after the song was over. So it's not contrived crowd control. He earned it through his own creativity. This dude is one of the best things Impact has going. I mean, again, they have a lot of great workers, but for people that they actually seem to be using, I think this guy's leading the pack. And again, personally, and this is going to be my meanest criticism, Joe Hendry to me is above Impact. Again, I know he's on the older side and you take what you can get. Honestly, if this was black and gold NXT still, I think he'd kill it there. I think he's got the personality and the charisma to kill it there. And even AEW, I don't think he'd be too bad, but he is so far above this goddamn carny-ass promotion, it's ridiculous. When you're prioritizing guys like Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer over fucking Chris Bay, go fuck yourself. This is as bottom feeding as it gets. They are so lucky they have Joe Hendry because that's the most I've watched Impact in probably like 10 years, if not more. So yeah, he's freaking great, dude. I love this dude. I'm actually really thinking I might keep up with him, actually. And if he does win the world title, it'd be one of the best things Impact could do. So yeah, just really wanted to sing my praises to this dude because it's not often I get psyched about an other list pick. But yeah, I want to thank Foster and thank Impact for doing something sensible for once and fucking signing this dude. So who's number one on your list?
Well, this might not. Did you actually watch a Joe Hendry match this grading period? I have to ask.
No, I watched two of them. He did a squash match, and then I watched him beating Brian Myers for the Digital Media Championship.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's more matches. Two more matches actually than I watched of my number one in my other list. I haven't watched a single match of this person in this grading period, and I do admit that that's probably not ideal.
But it makes me more intrigued, though. Honestly,
yeah,
makes me more intrigued.
That's just being well. It's Maria.
Yes. 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 Amazing.
I mean, the thing is, there haven't been any of her matches that I've watched in this grading period, but I do believe that her Joshi Pod interview was during this grading period, and that alone would have probably been enough for me to put her on my list. But then the cooking stream with Iroha, oh my god, she's so fucking adorable. I love her so much.
I just want to explain myself. I didn't have Maria anywhere because I tend to emphasize matches, so forgive me, but I love her too. I just have to come in on this and say she is, oh my god, Maria. Oh my god.
And to be fair, it's not like I'm ranking somebody that I've never seen wrestle before just because I like the way they talk. Or in this case, I love the way they giggle. But no.
Yes.
Maria's a fucking incredible wrestler. She's really, really good. I just haven't watched one of her matches that's happened over the last 2 months. Because to be fair, there's only been like 6 of them, and they've all been for Marvelous, and I don't know how to fucking watch Marvelous. But I have seen, there was a match that she did against Rin Kadokura that I did watch during this grading period. It just happened in like mid-November. So it technically didn't happen during this grading period, but I did watch it during this grading period. And that was for Pro Wrestling Eve. So like, it's not like I'm basing this exclusively on the fact that I adore her as far as her personality and her giggle go, but like that's definitely a big part of it. Literally, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Let me pull up.
Bro, while you're doing that, can I ask you something?
Yeah, please.
Because I don't want to be hyperbolic, and that's why I'm like kind of grounding myself and asking you this. Is Maria one of the like is Maria one of Joshi's best kept secrets? Because I still feel like people don't know how fucking good she is.
Yes, for sure. Well, it's hard to even say that because I think Joshi in general is one of wrestling's best kept secrets. Because like
That is fair. That is fair. Yeah, 100%.
even like Stardom is like, if you know about Stardom, you know, it's a coin flip as to whether you know about Stardom or not. Like you could just be aware it exists. Like you could just be like, oh, Stardom, that's that women's wrestling promotion in Japan, right? It's all women. That's the one that Sasha Banks works for now, right? It's like, no, not at all, but like kind of, but not really. But like, I feel like the online wrestling fan base is sort of tangentially aware of Stardom, mostly because of the combination of like Hana Kimura, crazy ass Mayu spots, and now more recently Julia, and Oedo Tai. Oedo Tai is a big one. But like, not that many people are actually watching Stardom, and Stardom is far and away the most popular Joshi promotion. So that gives you an idea of how many people are watching other Joshi promotions, which is a very small number. And like, even the people who do watch Stardom probably don't watch it anywhere close to as religiously as we do. So it'd be really easy to consider yourself a Stardom fan, watch their bigger shows, maybe watch the 5-star, and not have a single clue who Maria is.
Yeah.
I posted a link, by the way, in the chat to the Maria Iroha cooking stream. You're not going to understand a word of what either one of them says, but literally, I don't care. I was so sad when it ended. I thought it would put me to sleep because literally just getting to hear them talk and hear Maria giggle every now and then was worth having it on in the background for me one night as I was attempting to fall asleep. It's just adorable and I love it and I love them and I love her and I really 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 want Stardom to sign her, ideally sooner than later, but realistically before the end of like 2024.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, dude. She is so goddamn good. I'm elated that you picked her at number one. She's phenomenal. I would love her to be in a fucking 5-star and put her in the same block as
Dude,
anybody. I'm not even particular,
I
but just give
know,
her a whole
right?
tournament.
I think the one
Yeah.
sort of dream match that I would consider her in Stardom is Momo Watanabe because she's like a fucking Elseworlds version of Momo Watanabe to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, give her every world championship. Like she's so good and she's so young and has such an amazing
She's
look too.
22.
Like
She is literally the
22
same
fucking years
age
old.
as Momo, actually.
Yeah. Dude, good on you, man. I look, cause I don't know. It seemed like you were like, oh, I haven't watched any match. Dude, it's Maria. She doesn't need a fucking reason. If anything, anybody that hasn't seen her, they're the ones that need a fucking reason. Not Maria.
Dude, you know,
She's fantastic.
literally the first time I saw her, I was like, oh, she kind of looks like Momo if she was like really fit, right?
Yeah.
They were born 3 weeks apart.
That's insane.
Maria is literally 3 weeks older than Momo to the day. March 1st, 2000, March 22nd, 2000. That's fucking wild.
That is fucking insane. Yeah, that's it, everybody. Oh wait, no, we got Universal Top 10, of course. But yeah, I've got nothing else to say about my other. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so. We can get into our top 10, and I guess I get to start that, right?
Yes, you do. So what do you got going on?
Number 10, Saya Kamitani.
Excellent. Number 10 for me, Joe Hendry.
Number 9, Rhea Ripley.
Number 9 for me, Kenny Omega.
Wow, he actually made that high on your list. I'm surprised. Number 8, Maria.
Number 8, Gunther.
Number 7, Utami Hayashishita.
Number 7 for me, Himeka.
Number 6, Swerve Strickland.
Number 6 for me, I forgot the end here, so it looks like Roman Reigns.
Number 5, Minoru Suzuki.
Love it. What a fucking legend. 5 for me, Kairi.
Number 4 for me, Mina Shirakawa.
Number 4 for me, Sami Zayn.
Number 3 for me, Jamie Hayter.
Number 3 for me, Mina Shirakawa.
Number 2 for me is The Bloodline.
Number 2 for me, just keep fighting, Kevin Owens.
And number 1 for me, you could have guessed this a long time ago, is Hazuki.
Number 1 for me, and you could have guessed it just as long, my Red Queen, forever, ever, Utami.
Hell yeah. Beautiful. I love it. I love doing these. I hope everyone enjoyed. John, I don't really know what else there is to say. I just saw actually Edwin in chat said Takumi had surgery in December. I saw that too, but I also saw that it was only like a 3-month recovery, so she should be recovered very soon, if not already. So
yeah, dude, when Iroha comes back, it's over for all y'all. Like, goddamn.
She has had a lot of really bad injury luck over the last few years. I am really hoping that we get her again in the 5-star this year, and preferably her and Maria both in the 5-star this year would be amazing.
Bring her with you, Iroha. Bring her with you.
You know, honestly, and this is maybe the worst part of me. I think I'd be happier to get No Mai Sakurai in the 5-star than I would be to get either one of them in it.
I have to chew on that one, but
like,
I understand where you're coming
choice
from.
Between all 3 of them or none of them, I'd take none of them just so that Sakurai wouldn't shit the thing up.
Oh, god damn, man. That hatred goes hard. God damn. But yeah, no, I want Maria in a 5-star. I think I'd bite the bullet. I think I'd bite the bullet, you know, so don't hate me, but I'd be like, no,
I don't hate you, believe me. I don't hate anyone at all. Not even my Sakurai. I don't hate her. I just really, really don't like her.
No, and yeah, dude, that's yeah, absolutely.
And
so
thing,
yeah,
I shouldn't even say that. I don't dislike her. She seems sweet. She seems like a really good person. She's fun. She goes with the flow. Like she's the one that's been doing all this crazy shit with fucking Chanyota on these New Blood press conferences, like eating the raw meat and like the fucking carrots and shit. Like she seems like a cool person. I just really hate that she gets pushed at all with how bad she is at wrestling.
yeah, dude, that's my problem too. Like I said, man, I even said very recently, and I wasn't trying to be malicious because I know you and I look, we can joke, but we try not to be mean spirited because we know how toxic the culture is and we don't want to contribute to it. But I said, I wish a well-meaning veteran would pull her aside and be like, "Have you thought about other career options?" Because I don't. And again, I know
that about Saya Ida, and I gotta tell you, like how I would rather watch 3 Charlotte Flair matches than have to sit through 1 Ronda Rousey match. I'd rather watch 3 Saya Ida matches than have to sit through 1 Mai Sakurai match.
Absolutely. And I know there is no way to say what I just said without coming off like an asshole, but like it's just not working. It's just not working. I don't know. But anyway, I want to end this on a high note. I loved our fucking lists. I can't wait to get back in the Stardom saddle. Stardom Supreme Fight February 4th is going to be fucking wild. Cannot wait for it. Going to be a lot of fun.
To
so
make
guys,
this as clear as possible for everyone in the chat, by the way, this is going to be Saturday morning at 1 a.m. In other words, we are staying up Friday night. Normally, Fridays, we might do like a preview and prediction at 11 p.m. No. This is 2 hours after that. This is Friday night. We're going to be staying up past midnight and by an hour. And then at 1 a.m. Saturday morning, we will be going live to react to this huge, February 4th Stardom show. 1 a.m. Yes. Saturday morning. I don't want you to think that it's happening Saturday night. It is Saturday morning, Friday night into Saturday morning at 1 a.m. Eastern time.
Yes. And he really emphasized that. I was getting ready to emphasize everything in the whole breakdown here on the outro, but so I'll just forego that since Ashton already said it well enough. Guys, be sure to like the video, file out, subscribe to the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best in all the IWC.
Dude, I hate to cut you off, but don't forget, we do have a Stardom show tomorrow at 5.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
I was going to get to
it
that.
Just seemed like you were outroing like we were done here, but yeah, okay.
No, dude, I always plug our upcoming stuff like in the outro. That's why you just gotta let me do my shit, man.
Apologies.
But no, it's all right. But no, yeah, just be sure to do all that, guys. Now for the upcoming schedule here. Yes, as Ashton said, we've got a show tomorrow at 5. It's day 9 of the Triangle Derby. Been a really fun tournament. Fuck 7-Up. I can't believe they're still undefeated. They're gonna win this whole fucking thing. God damn it. But yeah, that's gonna be at 5. Then, as Ashton said, Friday. We got nothing going on Friday. Discord members, always be sure to come in at 8 for games or chill or whatever we're doing based on the numbers. But then we're staying up because 1 a.m. Saturday morning, we go live with Stardom Supreme Fight. Julia's first title defense against Suzu Suzuki. Kamitani taking on Momo. And my personal most anticipated match, Maihime versus 7-Up for the Goddesses Championship. God, I want Maihime to win so fucking bad. And then 8 p.m., we're still doing TWitWoW Week in Review. Should be an interesting conversation, especially with AEW in a little over an hour here. Again, we've got Thatcher versus Danielson, so I'm sure that'll be talked about on Saturday at 8 p.m. But yeah, guys, that's the remainder of our week. Be sure to join us for all of that. And again, for you Stardom fans, tomorrow at 5, Triangle Derby Day 9 live reactions, and then Saturday morning, 1 a.m., Stardom Supreme Fight. You don't want to miss Julia's first title defense, her versus Suzu. I expect to be a match of the year contender. I have very high expectations for that. So we will see you guys then. Until then, be good to yourself.